Welcome to the discussion. Before I get into my first big subject, I'm joined in the studio right now by Janice Williams, chair of the anti-sexual exploitation organisation Object. I just wanted to get your reaction on some of the stories that we've seen in the last few weeks. Firstly, Lia Thomas won an American national swimming competition, and the big factor that's caused this to be a national news story is the fact that Lia is a male and has won. And what's your reaction to that? Is this the end of women's sports, or is this what some would regard a step forward for inclusion?
It could be the end of women's sport, very, very sadly. It may take us some years to learn this lesson. How many events do we have to see where a mediocre man enters as a woman?
Yes,
and
I mean, they
all
were
the
400.
stunning, fantastic female athletes who spent their lives training. We've seen it with swimming, we've seen it with various events.
Wrestling as
Do we
well.
have to see it for another 30 years before somebody says, oh, maybe it wasn't such a good idea? Do something about it now, please.
Yeah, I mean, I really worry about the young girls who look at the sports stars and think, I could be that one day if I train, if I discipline myself, if I work hard. And actually, there's one thing that they literally cannot be, is be a male.
They cannot get male puberty and that big testosterone boost. They cannot get those big muscles, those spurts of speed and strength. They will never get them.
I mean, how have we got to this point? I mean, it does seem... You know, to me, this is cheating, quite frankly.
It is cheating.
I think that we have to be really honest here. This is cheating. This is unfair. And I really do worry about whether or not this person has any shame, because most people are looking at this and thinking this is not a fair competition. But Lia Thomas is still continuing to do this.
And the authorities, who are invisible, they are in dereliction of their duty. Lia Thomas, OK, she's seizing an advantage. I do agree that Lia Thomas is a cheat, but I really, really blame the authorities behind the scenes who are taking a salary and, oh, I'm an authority on sport. They are a disgrace.
I think that's an important point, because a lot of people have said, oh, these young girls should stand up and they should speak out. But actually, that could be harming their own reputation, their job prospects. They're so young. Why should they be expected?
Exactly.
Surely it's the institution's responsibility to make sure that there is fair competition.
That is victim blaming. Of course, it's the authorities' job, and they're not doing it. And they should be replaced if they don't do it.
Yeah, and I mean, this whole gender and sex debate has been a really big debate over the last few years, but it does seem to have very significant material consequences. We've seen in the last few years and in the last few weeks stories of male sex offenders being recorded as women because of how they identify. I mean, now this is skewing real crime statistics.
Yes, I mean, the statistics currently show that I think 90-something% of sexual offences are committed, mostly against women, but also against men, by men. If we keep on recording the statistics as people would like them to be if they're a trans person, then it'll end up saying 50-50. And people will say, there's no problem, we don't need to worry about that. And women will be preyed on even more than they historically have been. And let's face it, it's been going on for 5,000 years of patriarchy. It's time we stopped it.